So...
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone was watching on Twitter, but Jake's been, since he moved back, planning on teaching me to cook. For those of you who don't know and haven't watched the show that long, I'm not a very healthy person. Most of my food comes out of a box or a window that is handed to me through my car.
Right, and I've been cooking for years, just kind of been a thing that I grew up with and cultivated throughout my adulthood, so all of my friends tend to ask me to cook for them anyways. So Hugo's not the only one, but he's certainly a more extreme case.
Yeah, so Jake came over, taught me how to cook chicken, that's great, taught me how to cook some roast vegetables. Here comes the snag. The day after I ate this stuff, I got incredibly ill. I couldn't sleep, I kept waking up, throwing up, and the other end, everything.
Your first reaction may be, Jake didn't cook the chicken all the way. No, it fell off the bone, and I ate it, and his girlfriend ate it, and then we were fine.
Turns out, I don't know if anyone's ever heard of a phenomenon in which vegetarians, after they haven't eaten meat for a very long time, if they decide to go back and eat meat, their body doesn't know how to digest it, so they can get ill.
Right, so like they'll hurt their stomach and often they will throw up.
Now, it didn't occur to me until I ate the carrots, and after I was throwing them up, and only the carrots were left as whole carrots, did I realize I haven't eaten that many vegetables in probably 4 years. So, my body literally will not let me eat healthier without expelling vegetables. Enjoy the show while it lasts. I will be dead within the next 6 months.
It was good, though.
It was good.
La 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 la.
Here we go.
It's the Bible reloaded, the magic explosion, like Jesus and Moses, but it's Hugo and Jake. The Bible is jaded, and most of it taken, so get educated with Hugo and Jake. Pull up a pew and stop what you're doing, it's Bible reloaded time. They call it a maiden, the theist will hate it, like talking to taken, but it's Hugo and Jake. So I'm with the show then, it's not candy coated, it's the Bible reloaded, with Hugo and Jake, with Hugo and Jake.
Hello everyone, I'm Hugo.
And I'm Jake, and boy, do we have a special announcement before today's episode.
Oh god, okay, so for those of you who didn't see it, last week, like I said, I was sick. That was a different sickness, believe it or not, than I was talking about earlier. So I released that Hitler video from high school that I did, where I was dressed as Hitler. This, unfortunately, inspired someone to do a piece of artwork, which I cannot condone. However, that's why Jake's here, so...
Yeah, I condone it. So, we're gonna sell shirts of this design right here. It looks just like him.
Do not buy this shirt and wear it in public. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
Do buy this shirt and wear it in public. We're like, hey, we're white and black today. We're like the Devil Angel analog. This is what we are very cinematic today. This is a great shirt. It's $19. Go for it. It's gonna help the show, and also it helps you get beat up by people at Berkeley.
Anyway, today, the long-awaited return of the Bible study. Yes, it's been a while with Jake moving and everything. We're still not entirely where we need to be. We're still in this awkward one-person studio with 2 people, but...
We double-stuffed that cookie.
You need the Bible study. So today we're beginning Jeremiah. For those of you who don't know, Jeremiah is a priest from the area of Benjamin, who supposedly talked to God. And Jeremiah is all about what God told him. So it's a big God monologue today. We're just going to hear God being disappointed in the Israelites.
Oh, that's special. Also, I would like to let everybody know we're putting a moratorium on any bullfrog-related jokes. If you don't understand what that means, that's fine. You're not the person I'm talking to. I'm talking to you, dad joke. Believe me, I wanted to do it. I wanted it, but we're not doing it. Don't look at me. We're not doing it.
So Jeremiah, chapter 1, we're going to start in verse 4. The word of the Lord came to me, saying, Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appoint you as a prophet to the nations.
Oh no, now we can't abort people!
If anyone out there is lucky enough to never have heard this verse before, this is a verse that pro-life people, or I should say anti-abortion people, often use to cite and say, see, God says he knew us before he formed us in a womb, therefore, people are people, before they're even people. Does that make sense? You're a fully formed person, a soul, even if you're like a zygote. It's the soul is in there.
Even if you're not, though, it says before the womb.
It says before the womb.
Which implies that, I don't know, you can be pregnant beforehand, I guess, if that's where you want to take the argument. Really what it means is that souls get placed into human forms. But actually what it means is that God's omniscient, and of course he knew.
Yes. I think they're interpreting this. It's a real stretch, first of all, because he's directly addressing Jeremiah, like I said. It's him saying to Jeremiah, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Yeah. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. He's specifically talking about him.
Unless all of you are prophets to the nation.
Secondly, abortion is mentioned in the Bible, and there are instructions on how to force a miscarriage if a wife is unfaithful to a husband.
We read that in episode 28 of this Bible study.
And that's in Numbers chapter 5, verse 11 through 31, if you want to check that out. And it's literally instructions given from God. So, even if God does know you in the womb, he certainly doesn't give a fuck if you get scooped out.
Yeah, also he's super fine with mega late term abortions.
Yeah. So
which is just murder.
Yeah.
How come we can kill them after they're born but not before?
It's more fun.
It is more fun, more guts.
Alas, sovereign Lord, I said, I do not know how to speak, I'm too young. But the Lord said to me, do not say I am too young. You must go to everyone I send to you, and say whatever I command you. Do not be afraid of them, for I am with you, and will rescue you, declares the Lord. Remember back in Moses, he also picked Moses, who was apparently, according to the Bible, soft in speech and had a stutter of some sort. So
Does Jeremiah have a stutter?
Not according to this, but he's saying, I'm young, I don't know what to say, and God's saying, I'll put words in your mouth. God, have you considered finding yourself maybe like an Obama? Just a real good orator, is all I'm saying. Yeah. That way, not only, you don't have to support him, you can just build on top. And I think that's a better strategy.
That's more ideal. There's a motif in this Old Testament about the whole choosing the one of the least among us to lead it's not good at halfway through.
Have you considered the Israelites keep abandoning you because the leaders you choose are just horseshit?
It's like reading the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but every character is Frodo. It means you ran out of creativity.
Then the Lord reached out his hand and touched my mouth and said to me, I have put my words in your mouth. See, today I appoint you. Yeah, I know. Please don't actually touch my mouth. 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 Thank you for not...
Okay, I couldn't do it. I'm sorry. I tried, guys.
Okay, you know, if...
He knows this is the one I jack into. This is the one I jack off with. So, you can't do that to your close friends.
See, today I appoint you over nations and kingdoms to uproot and tear down, to destroy and overthrow, to build and to plant. The word of the Lord came to me. What do you see, Jeremiah? I see the branch of an almond tree, I replied.
Wow. God's sitting there waiting. What do you see? What do you see, man? He's like, almond branch, think.
Yeah, I don't know what that... I'm sure that symbolizes something. I'm sure it's culturally relevant.
Symbolizes the fruit of the tree branch.
Okay. The Lord said to me, you have seen correctly, for I am watching to see that my word is fulfilled.
That means that there's a version of this that went through God's head. He's like, okay, pop quiz, what kind of branch is that? And then Jeremiah replies, I don't know, like pecan? And he's like, no, close, but not a pecan. A little more sweet. He's like, oh, cashew?
There is an actual reason.
What's the reason?
The Hebrew word for almond sounds like the Hebrew word for watching. It's a pun. Yeah, you're more disappointed now, aren't you, that you know it's a fucking pun in the Bible.
It's like hanging upside down on one of those things that stretch your back out and then jacking off into your own mouth.
I don't follow the metaphor. I appreciate the imagery, though.
Well, your hips have to be above you for that. I feel like monkey bars is just too much.
None of what you're saying is incorrect. I feel like it's a non sequitur.
Well, no, I feel like Okay, anyways. That just sounded like an author like, ooh, yeah, I'm gonna get him with this one.
Oh,
You know what I'm
okay.
saying?
You're saying it's masturbatory writing, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I literally said okay.
Why is it...
I said he masturbate. Okay.
Why is it easier to paint a picture of a man on a goddamn one of those upside down things jacking off into his own mouth than is to just say the writing is masturbatory?
Because one makes people think of that, and the other makes people go, huh, it is.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and side with Shakespeare on brevity on this one, but you do you. The word of the Lord came to me again. What do you see? I see a pot boiling, I answered. It is a tilting towards us from the north. The Lord said to me, from the north disaster will be poured out on all who live in the land. I am about to summon all the peoples of the northern kingdoms, declares the Lord.
Wait, wasn't he supposed to not flood people?
No, it's not.
Dropping pots on people now?
It's not a literal flood. The pot of boiling water
Oh.
is a metaphor for kingdoms that are going to come and invade.
The only thing that makes Noah's flood worse is boiling the water, so...
I appreciate, though, that it sounds like a goddamn Lord of the Rings thing.
Right, I just literally watched the Two Towers, the Helm's Deep battle, and it sounds like that.
Yeah. I'm about to summon all the peoples of the northern kingdoms. Fucking Winterfell? Does Winterfell
That's Game of Thrones.
call for aid? I know.
Oh, okay, I wanted them to know that I knew that possibly maybe you were wrong and you mixed Lord of the Rings with Game of Thrones. Easy mistake.
I don't mix up my JRRs. I know what I'm doing. Tolkien.
George. Not J, but yeah. Close.
Wait, I thought-
RRs.
RRs? I don't mix up my RRs.
That's fine.
I kind of undercut my own point there,
You
didn't
did
I?
a little bit, yeah. You do mix them up.
Their kings will come and set up their thrones in the entrance of the gates of Jerusalem. They will come against all her surrounding walls and against all the towns of Judah.
Come on. That wrote it. You don't need me.
I'll give you a pass.
You don't need
on
me
that
for
one,
that.
yeah. I will pronounce my judgment on my people because of their wickedness in forsaking me, in burning incense to other gods, and in worshipping what their hands have made. You know what? So God's gonna send, northern, at least according to fucking Jeremiah. I don't think God's real, but I'm saying.
Is that not implicit?
I'm saying from the perspective of the story.
Gotcha.
This is thousands of years. The Israelites have been kicking around at this point. Consistently, every couple chapters, God gets mad at them for doing something, whether it's worshiping other gods or taking on customs of other cultures.
Trying to help.
Sure. And every time God gets mad and smites some people or does some shit. At a certain point, God, you gotta come back to common denominator here. Maybe you fucked up. Have you considered, there was just a manufacturing error on the Israelites? They're your chosen people.
Right.
And you get mad at them more than anyone else. So I'm just saying, if you walk around all day smelling shit, maybe check your own shoes before you start checking others.
Wow. Bringing out the old school burns.
Just saying.
Pot, black kettle.
I'm glad I'm here this episode. I'm carrying us both. Get yourself ready. Stand up and say to them whatever I command you. Do not be terrified of them, or I will terrify you before them.
Ooh, preemptive, terrifying strategies.
Yeah. Today I have made you a fortified city, an iron pillar and a bronze wall to stand against the whole land. Oh, apparently God can fuck with bronze now. Remember he didn't used to be able to fuck with bronze chariots?
I thought it was iron.
Was it iron?
Iron? But why is he making a wall of bronze? It's like making armor out of tinfoil.
Oh yeah. Well, he said iron pillar too, though. So.
Oh, okay. Well,
I understand it's a metaphor. I'm just saying I don't think God would fuck with metaphors for things he can't control.
Yeah, I don't. Bronze wall is a bad idea, by the way. Just don't do that.
Maybe, oh my god, this would make so much sense. We're in a game of Civilization or Black and White and God's the main character. He couldn't fuck with iron stuff until he upgraded his units.
I wanted to be on board with that, and I wanted to, cheer you on it. It doesn't, no.
No?
No.
I tried. Yeah. They will fight against you, but will not overcome you, for I am with you, and will rescue you, declares the Lord. I don't know if it's rescue them if you sick them on them in the first place.
Right, I feel
It'd be like if I had trained dogs and was like, get them! And then right as they're about to, like, puncture your jugular, I was like, okay, heal. They came back and were like,
rescued you.
saved your life. No, I think that's called assault.
Yeah.
That's assault and battery.
Uh-huh.
Except in this case, it's with fucking armies.
That's a little more than a
So
battery.
That's called a war crime, actually. I think when you scale that up, assault and battery becomes war crimes. Whoops. Chapter 2, Israel forsakes God. Shocking.
Yeah.
The word of the Lord came to me. Go and proclaim in the hearing of Jerusalem. This is what the Lord says. I remember the devotion of your youth. How as a bride you loved me. What's about to happen in the next, for the rest of this episode and for the next episode, God is going to become creepy, clingy ex-boyfriend, and Israel is the ex-girlfriend trying to move on with their life.
I read these as, like, texts, but also, like maybe, like, in between this episode and the next one, like, maybe you block the number, but then they go to Facebook Messenger. Yeah. And then now they're tweeting from sock accounts that are, like, broken-hearted, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, until they can find one that actually is allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
God's more of a neckbeard than I am.
Yeah.
And that's...
I mean, we have actual beards near our necks.
Yeah.
So...
You followed me through the wilderness, through a land not sown. Israel was holy to the Lord, the first fruits of his harvest. All who devoured her were held guilty, and disaster overtook them. So the honeymoon period, if you will. Every time someone came to insult your honor, milady, I would come to your defense as your Lord and Savior.
What does that sound like?
And all I asked for was your abject devotion, no matter what I do to you or how I treat you.
I'm a nice guy. I deserve your poon.
Hear the word of the Lord, you descendants of Jacob, all you clans of Israel. This is what the Lord says. What fault did your ancestors find in me, that they strayed so far from me? Why did you...
I like to imagine at one point in your life that was your actual reaction to something.
Oh, I was a huge fucking weird nice guy neckbeard.
Ah, see, there you go. That's fine.
Just, if anyone out there is like that, you don't have to be.
Yeah.
Start being an actual decent human being.
That's fine.
And treat other people like human beings.
Unless they don't deserve it.
Also, don't flood planet Earth and then take an entire group of people under your wing and then invent other people for them to fight. And then there's like a giant.
There is a giant.
In
I
Egypt.
forgot about that.
Yeah. Don't do that. Also, he mentions, what fault did you find in me? You killed a lot of them.
Yeah, you killed all sorts of... And you're real fickle.
Yeah.
Like, a guy tried to, like... Your actual vessel that you were carried around in for the first half of the book, he tried to catch it from falling on the ground, and you actively smote him. And then you opened up the earth and swallowed people for devotion. But not, like, the right kind of devotion. And then also, like, you killed some people because they made a cow.
Yeah, you're the bad guy here.
Yeah, yep.
They followed worthless idols and became worthless themselves. I'd like to point out a worthless idol will not murder your family.
Correct.
So,
Yeah.
I will take worthless idol over actual God that will murder you.
What does he have that I don't? Abs, Jared. Abs.
They did not ask, where is the Lord who brought us up from Egypt and led us through the barren wilderness, through a land of deserts and ravines, a land of drought and utter darkness?
A land of ravines? There's so many fucking ravines here!
A land of drought and utter darkness, a land where no one travels and no one lives. See, okay, God's saying this as if it's like, how could you forsake me? I brought you through these lands of desert and...
The lands that you told
you
them to
told
go
them
to!
to go to and made them stay for 40 years. What? It's a narcissist thing. It's like they erase all the things that make them look bad in their head and only remember, like, the positive things.
It's really important, kids, to, like, be able to admit to yourself your own shortcomings and faults. Like, I know that I don't have abs. Jared, on the other hand, does not know. And you should know that.
Have some self-introspection, people. That's
Yeah.
redundant.
Yeah, it is.
I tried.
Self-introspection. Introspect on your introspection to make sure it's valid introspection.
Those who deal with the law did not know me. The leaders rebelled against me. The prophets prophesied by Baal, following worthless idols. If they were prophesizing by Baal, again, not worthless. That would make Baal also...
That would give them worth.
Yeah.
That's implicit in their worship.
Therefore, I bring charges against you again, declares the Lord, and I will bring charges against your children's children. Cross over to the coasts of Cyprus and look. Send to Kedar and observe closely. See if there has ever been anything like this. Has a nation ever changed its gods?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is like, God's like threatening revenge porn leaks.
He is, and it's not only that, but, I mean, that rhetorical question there is supposed to be, you're supposed to answer that, no, nations never change what gods they worship, all the time. I don't know what the historical perspective of whoever wrote this was, whether it was actually a priest named Jeremiah or someone
like,
later.
literally in the timeline of this book, Rome will switch gods.
Right, so, at this point, maybe people weren't as aware on long time scales how regions change culture and religion and stuff, I can understand that.
Sure.
But now we definitively know, yes, cultures change gods
Wait a second.
all the time.
No, before in this book, people changed from Baal to God.
Yeah, so this is just bullshit. This is
Yeah.
just bullshit doublethink shit. Good job, Jeremiah. You know, apologetics haven't changed that much in the last couple thousand years.
Well,
Just-
it's because they read the couple thousand-year-old book and get their apologetics from it.
that makes a lot of sense. Anyway, I think that's it for today. I think that's a solid Bible study. First one we've done since you're back. I think that's
feels
good.
like it forever, because, oh, man.
We're so close to the New Testament. I'm so excited.
Yeah, we are. Pretty pumped.
So,
I think we might open the new year real close.
maybe. I'd love to be able to do the Christmas story around Christmas.
Oh, man.
That would be perfect. If not, we'll just fucking do it anyway.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, but it would be nice. So you can always t-shirts. Get the if you. I understand.
Why?
I will be disappointed in every single one of you that buys that shirt. By the way,
I'll be disappointed in everyone that doesn't.
and every time someone tweets me of them wearing that shirt, because often when we do shirts,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you look ridiculous.
That's awesome, though. It's fucking awesome.
The thing is, you get to take my face off at the end of the day.
You have to wear your face.
I have to wear the face all the time.
That's fair.
Anyway.
Well, I didn't dress up like Hitler. You ever thought this was going to come back around to you, did you?
I did not.
Well, it did. Took almost a decade, but it did.
People took umbrage with your description of almost a decade, by the way. It's about 7 years. They said that's not almost a decade. 6 years, 7 years.
That's almost. Why isn't that almost a decade?
6, I would say no. It rounds up,
Well,
but I get it.
7. This hasn't been 7 years since.
Almost 7. Closer to 7 now than 6. A
Right.
little over 6.5, but still.
It's almost a decade.
I know.
It's on the other side of a decade.
I think almost...
Like building towards
I
it.
just think almost a decade sounds better than a year or so before we started doing TBR.
It was almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still.
Anyway, other than that, you can always follow us on Twitter at Bible Reloaded.
You can follow Hugo at Hugo Reloaded, and you can also subscribe to the channel and get more Bible studies and new stuff. A lot of new stuff coming down the old TBR pipeline. It's a rusty, flint-like pipeline. Very mineralized. Smells like sulfur. Gives you diarrhea. And there he goes again. What's happening back here?
It's this one. This is the pipe.
This is... Yeah, that's it. We actually... All ideas must...
They gotta fit through that. That's...
It whistles! This is our TBR whistle!
We also have a Patreon.
What if I do it like this, like a fucking French horn?
I
I didn't know that was gonna happen. I'm really happy with it. Alright.
The Patreon live show will be later this month. We'll do maybe 2 to make up for the ones we missed.
Yep. And we might do a regular live show too.
Yeah.
So, a lot of cool stuff happening. Once I get into my new place, we'll have even better content. But for now, we have to be in the same room.
It's hot as fucking balls in here.
It is getting warm. Although you are wearing pants, and I haven't worn pants since we started this show.
So until next time, I'm Hugo.
I'm Jake. No more.
I do not.
Yes. Sex Abacus begins.
We'll be here for the rest of our lives. Kill us.
What's this do?
Nothing that's on camera.
Oh. Is it for drugs?
Shh. Of course not, Jake. Of course it isn't.